I'm Ann Hansen, an Extension Plant Pathologist with Virginia Cooperative Extension, and we're out here on the Virginia Tech campus today on May 9th looking at a very common disease of Pachysandra, which is also called Japanese spurge, and it's a common ground cover in shady areas. And unfortunately, it often has a fungal disease called Volutella Blight. And Volutella, the fungus Volutella, will cause both leaf spots, stem lesions, and dieback of whole stems. And we can see some of those symptoms here with some of these stems that I picked. You can see the leaf lesions with some yellowing around the lesions. And one thing that's pretty characteristic of lesions of Volutella blight is that they have these concentric rings. You can also see some stem lesions here, and this stem shows how the fungal pathogen can move from the leaves to the stems. These dead leaves cling to the stems, and then you can get infection of the stems. And the fungus will produce salmon pink colored spore masses on the infected tissue under the right conditions. So if it's really moist and cool, you'll see those spore masses. So the disease is usually pretty active at cooler temperatures in the spring. The fungus can remain on the old leaves, which remain on the plants over the winter. And then you get new growth, which we see forming here on these plants, masking the effect of this disease. So you see a lot of the lesions on the older leaves. The new leaves haven't developed infections yet. And so it could be easy to overlook this disease. But later in the season, you'll see more dieback of the stems, and then the bed can start looking pretty ugly. Now, the main controls for this disease are cultural controls. First of all, Pachysandra is a shade-loving plant, so you don't want to plant it in full sun. That will cause stress. And you have to be aware that if you planted it in shade and then later removed a tree and suddenly there's some sun coming through, then those plants are under greater stress. So they're more likely to develop the disease. So preventing these stress factors by planting in the right location, and also by removing leaf debris from the bed. A lot of times, because these plants grow in the shade, they're getting a lot of leaf debris from the trees, and this can create kind of a humid environment in the bed, and you want to keep that bed clean of leaf debris and weeds to provide good air circulation in the canopy. And another stress factor that has been reported to cause problems that lead to this disease is long runners. So this is a ground cover, and it spreads by runners. And if you get a very long runner with a lot of leaf tissue supported by only a few roots, then that can be stressful as well. So keeping the plants thinned and pruned back can help as well. One other thing that could be done is to mow the bed and remove all the clippings, and that will remove some of the inoculum from the bed. You can use fungicides to control this disease. They're preventative in nature, so a broad-spectrum fungicide that will protect the new growth and any uninfected older growth can help to reduce the disease.